guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Rosie and in today's video I'm going to be unboxing my very new lens. This is the Tamron 70-80 f2.8. Now the reason I bought this is because I sold my old camera, my Nikon D500 and my Tamron 24-70 that went along with that. And the reason I sold that is because it was huge and very cumbersome, very heavy and not ideal for travelling. So instead I replaced that with my Sony A6600. I did an unboxing. I'm actually filming it right now so I can't show you it, but I did an unboxing. I can leave that linked up here if you want to go ahead and watch that. So I bought that as a kind of small mirrorless camera to go travelling with, and then I found the 17-70 which I'm filming on right now, so again I can't show you that, but I will leave the unboxing video linked here. I'll also leave the link below as well. And this is kind of going to be my, I think the lens that I keep on my camera most of the time. 17-70 is a pretty good range, but I also wanted something so I can get closer to the action if I want to be like, well basically I forgot to say, so we're going to go travelling, hopefully September time, we'll see, to places in Southeast Asia. And I kind of thought, you know, if you're at a market or if you're at a school or if you're at a temple or whatever it is and you want to get just closer than 70, I thought it'd be worth having something that can zoom in a little bit further. And because I love photography, I needed it to be f2.8 and nothing else really. I kind of toyed with the idea of getting the 70-300, I believe it is, but it's kind of f3.5 to 5.6 or something around that range. But I kind of thought at least with an f2.8 I can also use this for portraits. And something I've been playing with photography at the moment as well is zooming in a lot more. I've been doing photography for 5 years and I only really realised recently that the more you zoom in, the closer the background gets to the subject. So I'd love to try with this with portrait photography as well at some point. Anyway, enough of that. This is going to be an unboxing video, so let's get into it. So this is the box it comes in. It's just a white box and it says 70-180 f2.8. I have no idea what VXD means because the lens that I'm filming on right now, sorry, the 17-70 is actually AVC or XD. So I'm going to have to Google that. So if you know, let me know in the comments. So yeah, let's get into it and see what it's like. So open it up like so. Okay, so we've got the paperwork, which I never look at this honestly. This usually goes straight in the bin. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing if I'm supposed to hold on to it for warranties and things. And then it comes like this, so it's very well packaged with the wood, like the cardboard box around it, sorry, and then the bag. Okay, and the big reveal. Oh, that is a chunky lens. Okay, so this was supposed to be my travelling lens. That's big and heavy. Okay, I'm not upset about it, but it's bigger than I expected, I think. So a couple of things to note with this lens. I noticed it's got the lock, which it doesn't have on the 17-70. Don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Oh, I can't even, it's locked, okay. Okay, it doesn't, 1 minute, okay. Let's make it back down, take that off. So it goes from 17 to 70. So I've never actually used a lens this size before, so I think it's going to be quite fun to film my first reaction when I first put it on the lens and see actually how far I can go. I've never even tried it in store or anything. This is a crop sensor camera as well, by the way, so this is 70-180, but I'll leave on screen what the conversion rate is for full frame. I think it's around 100 to, I don't know, 250 or something like that. I'll put it on the screen anyway. So yeah, I'm excited to try this. I'm excited, and I think especially because I bought a camera bag. I bought the Peak Design Everyday Sling 6 litre, and hopefully this fits in it like that and I can put this camera like that. I'm hoping it's kind of this size. So we'll see, but it's big and it seems good. So yeah, that's it for now. I'll be back in a second and I'll film on my camera and kind of show my first impressions of actually using it, and then I'll be back in a couple of days as well to give my kind of first impressions, more, you know, after a couple of days of actually trying it and showing you some sample photographs and letting you know what I actually think of it. Hi, welcome back. So it's been about 3 weeks since I recorded the beginning of this video. I'm now back to talk to you about my first impressions of the 70-180 by Tamron 2.8 zoom lens. I've been using this a little bit, so I took a couple of photographs whilst I was still in Miami. And then I've used it a couple of times here as well in France, and I absolutely love it. When I use it, I end up making funny noises. I'm always like, oh my god, wow, ah! Like, it's just, so I've never had a lens, well, I think my first lens I ever had was something like an 18 to 270 or 200 or something like that. But that was way before I knew what I was doing with photography. I didn't really understand focal lengths, I didn't really get it all. And then since then, so for the past couple of years I've been using a 24 to 70. So now I have the 17 to 70, by the way, which is what I'm filming on. I bought a new camera, which is the Sony A6600, and the 17 to 70 and the 70 to 180. I'll leave links to any kind of relevant videos down below. But basically it's the first time in years that I've got a longer focal range, and something at 2.8 as well is beautiful. Oh my god, I'm obsessed with it. I absolutely love using it. I think it's just been incredible. So it is expensive, it's about $1,000, but honestly it's been an absolute joy to use it's only been 3 weeks, but I've enjoyed using it. I really wanted to show you a couple of photographs that I took in Miami, just to kind of show you the photographs I took when I was testing it. I think that could be useful to see. So if we start off by looking at these two photographs of Jeremy, so the first one was taken at 70mm, the second one was taken at 180mm, both at f2.8, but I think you can tell the difference here in terms of the compression and how when you zoom in, things in the background come further, like come closer to you almost. So the background comes closer even though he's in the same place. Now obviously I had to move backwards, so I took one photograph standing here and then I moved all the way back to take the same photograph but more zoomed in so that they look similar side by side. But obviously it changes the background and it kind of brings the background closer in towards him. And I think you can really see the difference here. I absolutely love the bokeh, I love the 2.8, I love the, I just think it's such a good lens. Now it's something, actually I will say, it's something that you can't use as like an everyday travel lens just because it's so zoomed in. Like we walked around the village where Jeremy lives, where his parents live, and even trying to take photographs of like a window or a door, like I went out with just a 70 to 180 lens on and I forgot how zoomed in it is. Every time I put it on I'm like, whoa, holy shit, okay. Like I kind of forget how zoomed in it is. So you can't go around and take photographs of buildings and people and markets and anything like that. It's not like a kind of day-to-day, day trip kind of lens. It's super specific. It's something honestly where you use it either for portraits, and obviously stand way back and get photographs with like a really nice compression like I've just showed you now. Otherwise for travel photography, to get closer to the action, so if you're shooting something that's really far away, it would be great for that. So that's why I bought it, so that when we go traveling I can get kind of closer to the action and we can, you know, for buildings or architecture or events or anything like that, I can be stood quite far away, zoom right the way in and get some really, really beautiful photographs. And the fact that it's 2.8 as well is beautiful, so you get that really nice background blur and the lighting and everything. So that's why I bought it, honestly, is just to kind of be more zoomed in. I think it's also great for portraits. So I just want to show you a couple more photographs I took whilst we were in Miami. So this one here was taken at 70mm. Obviously some of these like the one of Jeremy, I moved back to try and get the same photograph twice but with a different background. These photographs I was literally doing 70, zoom into 180. So they're not trying to be the same, I'm just showing you the focal range. So that one's 70. And then this one here is at 180. So you can see the difference there in terms of how much it zooms in, and also the really nice background blur there of the building behind the palm tree. You can see the windows are nice and blurry, the palm tree is nice and standing out, so I think that's a beautiful example. This building, you can see a lot of the building. Obviously 70 is still pretty zoomed in, so you can't see the whole building. You can see a lot of the balconies, and then at 180 you can see 3 balconies. So that really shows the difference there as well. What else have we got? This guy, so he was working on the top of the Four Seasons in Surfside. I think he was cleaning the windows. So this one was taken at 70. This other one was taken at 180. So you can see how much more zoomed in you get. It's actually crazy because I was across the street and quite far away. So to be able to get that close to something that far away really was kind of blew my mind, especially because you can then crop in if you want to. You can zoom in because it's such a good camera and such a good lens. You could even zoom all the way in and get a super cropped in photograph of this guy on the top of the building across the street way over there. I wish I had video footage of that because I don't think you can quite understand how far away he was. But anyway, what else? Again, this guy, so I think it's the same person or maybe somebody else who was cleaning the windows. That's at 70, that one's at 180. So again, you get so much closer to the action, which I think is great for travel photos. This one is a postbox things. This one is 70, this one is at 180. So again, you can see the difference in terms of the bokeh, in terms of what you can actually see in the frame, the background blur, the detail, everything like that. You can see the difference. If, for example, you compare the car lights, on the 70, you can see it pretty clearly. And then on the 180, it's a lot more blurred. So I think that's another kind of example of the more you zoom in, almost the nicer the background is, which is something I'm starting to learn and something I'm starting to really experiment with and use to my advantage rather than kind of as something that happens, something that I want to happen, if that makes sense. A couple more here. This was just down the street. So this was shot at 70 and the next one was shot at 180. So again, you can see, you can kind of compare what's in focus, what's in frame even, sorry. The building right at the back there next to the palm trees, you can see it looks quite far away. On the 180, all of a sudden it's all the way forward. So really, when you use a zoomed in lens, for example 180, it really brings the background from the back and pulls it all the way forward. So these buildings look like they're on top of each other, where actually they're quite spaced apart. So I think that was brilliant. I love that. So that's the photographs that I took when I first received the camera. I wanted to go out, take some photographs and see if I even liked it, because we were in a rush to get back and I didn't know if I would send it back or not. I ended up keeping it. Absolutely love it. I'm so glad I kept it. And since then, I have used it a couple of times. So my husband and I went on a bit of a day trip and went to the Gorge de Galamoose, which is quite close to where his parents live, and ended up taking some absolutely beautiful photographs. So I'm going to compare. I'm going to actually put a photograph that was at 17mm here, so you can see that, this side, and then a photograph that was taken at 180 here. So the water on the bottom of this one, so it's like a huge cliff, well, it's a gorge, with like a stream, a little stream running down the middle. And this photograph was taken at 180, zoomed in all the way, and you can actually see the waterfalls. So if you want to compare these two images, that's what my two lenses can do now, all the way from 70 all the way to 180. So it's been so much fun playing with it. I think it's incredible. I cannot wait to go actually traveling with it and take lots of different photographs from all around the world and do portraits and people. Street photography, I think it's gonna be amazing for that as well, because I'll be able to stand really far away. Well, I'll have to stand really far away, but I'll be able to stand really far away and take photographs of people who won't even know that I'm photographing them. And I know that sounds kind of creepy, but I want to do it more of like a street photography way to kind of show the culture of places, and not people sitting and smiling, not really portraits, more just people going about their life. And I think this would be a great lens for doing that because you can zoom right the way in. If I talk to you about the lens a little bit, so it does come with the lens cap, which is great. It's huge, which I think is great. The, not lens cap, the sun thing, whatever it's called. The lens cap has two ways to take it on and off. You can either use the top bit here or you can use the middle bit here. So it's great for even if you have the, whatever that's called, on, you can still put the lens cap on and off. It does have the lock button here, which I'm used to because my old lens I used to use, the 24-70, was a Tamron as well. So people often mention in these videos talking about these lenses that the focus ring and the zoom ring are switched to most other lenses. Now for me it's the same because I've always used Tamron, so for me it's fine. But it zooms in from there, that's 70, that's 180, 70, 180. So at 180 that's pretty big. I mean, that's the size of my hand there. It's quite big, it's quite heavy, I'll be honest, but that moves really nicely. Overall, I've just really enjoyed using it. I just think it's such a brilliant lens. I cannot wait to, like I said, go actually traveling with it and use it in different places, photographing lots of different things. So I think it's going to be amazing. It is heavy, but I have a really great bag. I'm going to talk about that in the video coming soon as well. I have a really great bag for my camera equipment, so I don't mind carrying it, and actually it's fine, it's not been an issue at all. So yeah, that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Go over to my Instagram page actually, so I have lots of photographs from my new camera and my two new lenses. So if you want to go and see some of the travel photographs that I'm taking, you can go over to my Instagram. I'll leave it linked below. I'll probably put it on screen as well so you can see that. So yeah, go ahead and look at those, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe. That really helps me out. I love seeing my channel growing. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you can leave it a thumbs up down below as well. That really, really helps me out. Maybe share it with somebody else who might be interested, and I will see you very, very soon for my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.